Hello again, everybody. My name's Grant, and I'm a teacher at Palmore Institute. And today we're going to be looking at Speaking Junior class. And the focus of today's lesson will be looking at adjectives used to describe characteristics and personality. And we'll be looking at about 10, and maybe I'll add some more later in the lesson. And we'll be trying to put those into sentences and then hopefully into short conversations that you can practice at home. So let's just have a look at the first 10. Please write these down on a piece of paper. Okay, now you've had a chance to look at those 10 adjectives. Please check in a dictionary if you don't understand any, because we'll be doing meanings matching with adjective later in the lesson. So what I'd like to do now with you is just practice pronunciation to make sure you can say the words correctly. So let's just go through the list and listen and repeat after me, being careful to focus on your pronunciation, particularly difficult sounds like L, SH that are hard to pronounce for second language speakers. So let's begin with the list. Talented, talkative, kind, shy, lazy, funny, smart, hardworking, strict, friendly. So just practice listening and repeating the pronunciation of those 10 adjectives. Moving on, now that you've had a chance to practice those, let's have a look at a list of the adjectives again. And this time you've got the meanings, but the meanings are mixed up. They are not matched with the correct adjectives. So what I'd like you to do is look at the list of adjectives and meanings and go through and try and match them. So please write them down on a piece of paper. You can pause the video while you write them down, and then we'll have a look and I'll give you the answers after that. Now you've had a chance to try and match those adjectives with the meanings. Let's just have a look at the answers. So I'll just put those up for you now and check your answers against the answers that I put up. Good. Now that you understand those adjectives and the meanings, we're going to move on and we're going to try and form some sentences. And what I'd like you to do is, from the list of 10, we're going to use them all. Take 2 adjectives for each sentence and try and make a sentence about somebody using 2 of those adjectives. So I'll give you a minute to do that, and then I'll show you some examples. Now you've had a chance to see those example sentences, I'd like you to compare them with yours and check your grammar and spelling. And what we're going to do now is I want you to listen and repeat the example sentences that I gave you. So please listen and repeat and pay attention to pronunciation and fluency. Movie stars have to be talented and hardworking. My teacher is strict and doesn't like lazy students. My best friend is shy but kind. My mother is friendly and smart. Comedians have to be funny and talkative. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 5 more adjectives that we can add to the list and the meanings. So just take a minute to have a look at these 5 additional adjectives and meanings. Now that you've had a chance to look at that, what I'd like you to do now is listen and repeat and pay careful attention to the pronunciation of these adjectives. Are you ready? Beautiful, brave, silly, generous, cheerful. Okay, good. Now, what I'd like you to do is the same thing as you did before, except this time make 5 sentences and use one adjective in each sentence to describe a person. So I'll give you a minute just to do that. Then I'll show you some examples of sentences that I've made. Now you've had a chance to look at the sentences I made, I'd like you to check yours and check grammar and spelling, and also work on your fluency, read them out loud. And what we're going to do now is I want you to listen and repeat the sentences that I wrote. So are you ready? Let's listen and repeat. Julia Roberts was once voted the most beautiful woman in the world. I think doctors and nurses are very brave. Some comedians can sometimes act a little silly. A lot of wealthy people are sometimes generous to charities. My mother is a very cheerful person. Good. Now, continue to practice those sentences and work on intonation and stress. You notice the adjectives are often stressed in the sentence, so work on that. And what we'd like to do with you now is I'd like to take some of those adjectives, maybe 4 or 5, and put them into a series of sentences, like a mini paragraph, and make a monologue about a person that you want to describe using the characteristic and personality adjectives. So I'll give you a minute to do that, and then I'll show you one of my examples. Good. Now you've seen that. You can see it's a monologue about a friend of mine. What I'd like you to do now is listen and repeat the monologue after me. Pay special attention to pronunciation, fluency, and intonation. So are you ready? My friend Alan is a very funny and cheerful person. He likes to make people laugh. He is sometimes a little lazy, but also hardworking. He is a smart, kind, and friendly person. He is one of my best friends. Okay, so practice that, and you can listen to me and repeat and work on your intonation, pronunciation, fluency. So what I'd like you to do now is I'm going to put up a list of different people I want you to make short monologues about using the adjectives. As you can see in my monologue, I used seven out of the 15 that we studied today. So you can use them more than once, and please type those up and practice them. Check your grammar and spelling, and I'll check them when you come back to Palmore. Just have a look at these now. So that's your list of adjectives that we studied today, and your homework. I'd like you to make those 4 monologues about different people, and we'll look at them when you return to Palmore. And remember to try and use the adjectives that you studied today as much as possible when you speak English. Next time, we'll be looking at free time activities. So I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you at Palmore next time.